You know, it was a man in 2008 that bought Apple for $3 a share. Not because it was popular, but because he saw the world was going. And where the world was going is nothing like it was in 2008. You see, everyone else was running from the market. It's a crash coming. Interest rates, cash for clunkers, the Great Recession. But he was running toward value. Fast forward 10 years later, that man's $10,000 turned into $500,000. Not from guessing, but from recognizing opportunity when others were scared. Circle is issuing digital dollars. Coinbase is building roads to crypto adoption that we've never before seen. And Lululemon, once the darling of retail, that got a lot of money for my wife and my daughter buying those leggings, had its worst day ever this past Friday, being down by 19%. And it's slipping, it's falling. But in the words of DMX, it's gonna get up. And if you're watching the headlines or reading the map of the future, you should be taking advantage of these three stocks, because what's more dangerous? Not investing or investing too late? Because when money is shifting from one industry to another, like it's happening right now, are you positioned to benefit or are you watching from the sidelines? And what if the stock that everybody's avoiding, like Lululemon, being down again by 19% in one day, is your best long-term buy at the bottom? We'll talk about this and other factors in our stocks of the week. But before we get started, as always, like, subscribe, share to our channel. On these social media airways, I'm giving information about how we can scale our finances. And in real life, I'm a certified financial planner, managing hundreds of millions of dollars of assets worldwide. But today, we're going to give you the best stock, the worst stock, and the opportunity of a week, and why these three stocks might be the legacy that you want to build. Y'all ready?
And you just wanna get paid, tired of making the money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late, yeah. Pay for profits to help you seek change, and you just wanna get paid, yeah. Tired of making the money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late, pay for profits to help you seek change, yeah. Cut the show and just listen. You wanna feel empowered by making money decisions.
Cryptocurrency. Well, crypto has gone a very, very, very long way since 2013. How hard was it to buy cryptocurrency? How many people looked at it as a scam? Do we think it's going to continue to go up or go down? Well, any time a new industry evolves, it gives us the opportunity to buy into those new technologies, to take advantage of what's going on. And for people who want to slow foot in crypto, but want to make sure that it's quote unquote safe, you know, those safe investors, it's a company that just gave you the ability to do that. The name of that company is Circle. Circle is a fintech company that issues dollars. Yes, dollars in the form of a USD coin. It's regulated. It is backed by a stable coin, which means it doesn't go up and down. It's 1-to-1 with money. What does that mean exactly? Well, that means now people can buy cryptocurrency and not have to worry about the value going down. You see, with cryptocurrency, the reason why people today are afraid of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and everything else is out there, because of the fear of it going down. You see, with cash, we can literally put our money into the bank and we know it ain't gonna go down in value. It's just there. What if we're able to do the same thing with crypto? Well, you could. It's called stablecoin. And now, because Circle, the financial institution that creates that stable coin where you can put your money into crypto and it never goes down in value, they hit the market this week. They had an IPO, which called initial public offering. Now, typically, when IPOs hit the market, they go up. But they don't go up by 168%. I repeat, 168%. People would love to get 168% in 10 years. Circle did it in 1 week. Why the excitement? This company that allows you to have Bitcoin and not lose money? Okay, I understand, but why going up by so much? Well, see, they always say the devil is in the details. And when you got big money behind something, but they're not telling anybody, that allows us to rub our hands and say, what is this? You see, when a company is private, you don't know who's backing them. But once that company goes public, you know exactly all those financials because they have to be disclosed. And this little old company from Boston, Massachusetts that was founded back in 2013, they have major backers. They actually have the biggest backer of them all, BlackRock. That's that BlackRock, Larry Fink's BlackRock, who are the largest money manager in the world. BlackRock manages 8% of the world's assets. So you think the company that introduced the Bitcoin ETF last year, symbol IBIT, the biggest one-year inflow of money into an ETF in the history of all funds. And now they're backing stablecoin or Circle, where you can invest in cryptocurrency and never lose money like it's a money market account. Do you think they're going to make sure that that stock goes up? You're darn right. You think they're going to make sure their assets that are in cash right now, they're going to move over to this coin. And when they do that, is the value of Circle going to go up in value or down in value? We all know the answer to that. 68% is crazy. On Friday by itself, it went up by 48% because of the enthusiasm and also individuals putting two together when it comes to BlackRock. 5 years from now, we don't know where it's going to go. 5 years from now, we don't know where crypto's going to be. But we can all agree, 5 years from now, crypto is going to be in a bigger, safer, or regulated place. Circle is leading the way for that to happen. So yes, Circle is up by 168%. And yes, IPOs historically after 3 months is when you want to buy it because the people that bought it on the front end before it went public, they sell. So do not go YOLO. You only live once with all your money into Circle. We don't want to do that. But we want to watch this. And as the big money sells after they bought it before the IPO to pocket their gains. A little bit here, a little bit there. And when it does go down because of that, we want to take advantage of it. Because I believe in 5 years from now, this stock of the week might be the stock of the next 5 years. So Circle for the win. But then also, we have losses. And that gets us to Lululemon. Now, who here has seen people in those basic leggings walking around with that funny looking symbol on the back of it? And you think to yourself, I don't understand how a pair of leggings are $79. I don't understand why my wife and my daughter are buying these very expensive leggings. That tells you a lot about the company Lululemon. You see, the reason why companies grow is not because they have the best products. It's not because they're priced, but it's because of the value and the sense of community. You see, when it comes to money, as I say all the time, money is just paper. But the value you put upon a product makes you spend that paper. And people value Lululemon. Does that mean their clothes are the best quality? I don't think so. But the community that they have built in this niche of more women than men, it is some men clothes, but mostly for women, the niche in the community that they have built has allowed their stock to grow dramatically over time. But then we have the tariffs. And the tariffs knocked them over their perch, and they had their worst one day ever on Friday, dropping by 19%. So they was up by 2% for the week, but then that 19% drop means that their stock went down by 16% last week. Had $100,000 in Lululemon, now it's at $84,000 today. And it's not like Lululemon is a fad. They've been around since 1998, and they ran themselves as premium yoga. When most people wearing those sweatpants and those leggings and those long sleeve foam shirts, I guess, I don't know what you call it, and those shirts that they have, they ain't doing yoga. Only 8% of the population does yoga. They have a market share in that as well. But they had guidance for the second quarter, citing that they would lose money like they did not lose the previous 3 years. Citing tariffs, consumers being kind of cautious because it might be a recession, and also high inventories. So you had UBS, one of the largest investment banks in the world, cut their price target. So what happens? This is a sign of market manipulation. UBS cuts the price target. Large institutions sell the stock. We don't hear anything in a few weeks. And guess what they do? They buy the stock. This has not been the first time it happened with Lululemon. Literally, this happened July of last year. Not even a year ago. Because of the fear of a recession last year that didn't happen. In 1 week, Lululemon dropped by 10%. At that time, another investment bank said, we are going to cut our price target for the next 12 months. And they cut that price target from $320 a share to $290 a share. Were they right or were they wrong? Well, they were wrong because the stock went up dramatically over the next 6 months to the tune of $428 a share. So when people dumped that stock when it was at $280, was that a good decision or a bad decision? It was a horrible decision. And luckily for our clients, we actually bought it because it went down more than $260. Down to $260. As it goes back up, we end up selling it at $350 a share. So we didn't ride, as I sound like Daffy Duck, we didn't ride the wave like we should have because it went up to $420. And it's happening again as it went down because of the Trump tariffs from $420 down to $385, where it was July of last year. Do we think that soccer moms and the niche community that they have are going to stop doing yoga? Do we think that individuals in the community are going to stop wearing these leggings? And do you think that inventories will get better or worse as the tariff negotiations come to a head and we have trade deals? This stock being down by 16% might be looked at as a steal. And it's up to us to take advantage of it or look up in months and be like, I missed out. Even if it takes 1 year to get back to where it was, being down by 16% means when it gets back to where it was, that's a 21% gain. 21% gain means that we double the average of the stock market for 1 year. I personally don't believe it's going to take a year to get back to where it was, being down by 16%. If it does, still a solid investment. If it takes 2 years, 8% a year, not bad at all. With community that is only growing and not getting smaller, even though the drop of the week is Lululemon, it might be an opportunity that we can't pass up. But speaking of an opportunity, we have Coinbase. We all know when something is the biggest and the best, they have what we call market share. If we close our eyes and we think about pop, who do we think about? Not Pepsi, Coca-Cola. We think about electric cars. Not trying to get political because Trump and Elon is beefing right now, y'all. We close our eyes and we think about electric cars. What is the first car we think about? Tesla. So we think about a way to buy cryptocurrency on an exchange safely. We close our eyes. What do we think? People who follow crypto, they'll say Coinbase. But most of you guys do not know that answer. And that is why Coinbase is the opportunity of the week. Because Coinbase is the biggest holder and the biggest exchange of crypto. Meaning the biggest and the best is the one that gets used the most. The one that big institutions use when they want to buy cryptocurrency, they use Coinbase. The large companies that now are using Coinbase to buy Bitcoin instead of holding cash. GameStop came out and said they're going to now start buying Bitcoin with the cash that they have on hand. And who are they going to use for that? Coinbase. So if I have the ability to buy the biggest and the best in class, why should I not do that? And we can all agree that Coinbase is going to grow. How quick? We don't know. But crypto is going away or going forward. We know the answer to that. To the point that Visa, yes, Visa, like the credit card, they are now partnering with Coinbase to find a way for you to link your Coinbase account to your Visa account so you can now pay for things using your Bitcoin. Do you think when that happens, Coinbase as a company, their stock is going to go up or going to go down? Do you think people will continue to use Coinbase or they're going to use a smaller company? We know the answer to that, you guys. And to make matters better, it's been some whispers that they will be added to the S&P 500. When Coinbase is added to the S&P 500, meaning it's one of the top 500 companies in America, their stock is going to be bought by all these big players to be in an index fund. BlackRock, Vanguard, Merrill Lynch, iShares, Franklin Templeton, American Funds, all of your Ks that have that S&P 500 index fund, they will also buy Coinbase. When that happens, do you think it's going to go up or do you think it's going to go down? My friends, Coinbase gives us an opportunity to grow dramatically. And the best part about it for people that did not have Coinbase, you're still buying it at a discount. You see, Coinbase was as high as $350 a share late last year. And then it dropped dramatically after Trump was trumping around with the tariffs and the fear that people will get restless, which means cryptocurrency might go down as well. So now, it being at $250 a share means it's at a 25% decrease, a 25% discount. You buy it when it's at 25% down, it gets back to where it was. That is a 33% gain. If it takes 1 year, all I got is 1 year. That means, my friends, you're up by 33%. It takes the stock market on average 3 years to make 33%. Coinbase will make it in 1 year. This is an opportunity that we need to take serious. Because what is the cost of inaction? The cost of inaction is we see this great person named Mario Payne giving us great information and we think about it. 2 weeks later, we think about it. A month later, out of sight, out of mind. This time next year, we come to my YouTube channel again and say, I remember he talked about Coinbase. and now it is at $350 a share. We missed out on 28%. The cost of you not doing anything with these opportunities costs way more than doing your research and executing. So the stocks of the week: Circle, up by 168%, one of the largest IPOs ever in 1 week that still will continue to grow over time, in my opinion. Lululemon, down by 16%, but because of their community in a niche market, might be a hell of a buying opportunity. And Coinbase, yes, up by 3%, still got to go up by 30% to get back to where it was, but maybe the opportunity of an investment lifetime. The real question is, what are you going to do? I know what I'm going to do. Continue to add value. Continue to help you guys. And for my clients, the thousands of clients I have worldwide, continue to allow them to grow their finances. But if you have questions, help, comment the word relax. We're here to help. But if not, love is love. Take this information and use it. All is well. And as always, let's make some painful or painless profits together, y'all. Peace.